New t-shirt and hoodies available to order. Every purchase helps me support artists and fight AI. The link is in the description. Wow, it's been about 2 years since I made my presentation against generative AI. So I've had some more thoughts since that video, and I want to discuss them with you now. I want to start off with this. Someone had written this and I thought it was really smart. AI can't replace you, but it's good enough to convince your boss that it can. Bosses and clients will learn the hard way that AI is a cheap bargain basement downgrade for their business, but not before they have set multiple industries on fire, including the art industry. I'm going to have to diagram the knock-on effects that this is having. This is what I call the crisis of confidence in the art industry. Clients start going to AI. When they go to AI, they don't hire as many people. So that leads to layoffs in the art industry. It leads to artists not being able to find jobs. That news gets around. And so when there is this new generation of artists who are considering going to art school, should I learn art or should I learn, I don't know, road construction? They're gonna look at the art industry and think to themselves, well, there's no way I'm going to get a career in art with this whole AI thing happening. I'm not going to become an artist. So less artists, so there's less artwork. And because there's less artwork being made, the AI datasets have less new fresh data to exploit. And so the quality of AI will atrophy. This will lead to a stagnation in the improvement of AI image generators. But by the time people realize that, it may be too late to bring back artists because that generation of discouraged would-be artists have now found careers in other fields, and it's too late to call them back. So this could be a brief picture of how we're diving face first into a long cold winter where a generation of creative people will miss an opportunity to contribute their unique talents and perspectives. And until people come to their senses, the world will be a little bit grey for a time. So that's the concept I'm talking about when I say a crisis of confidence. Part 1. Historically, we tend to look at periods of history in decades. This decade will probably be defined by the ultra-rich finding innovative new ways to exploit ordinary people. Capitalists love this new AI revolution. And when I'm talking about capitalists, I'm not talking about people who enjoy living and working in a free market economy. I'm talking about people who employ thousands or tens of thousands of people. They are the ones who love this AI boom. The people who actually work for a living are all concerned about where this is leading. If they're not concerned, they should be. The AI trend is late stage capitalism on steroids, tricking you into giving away your data rights, creating a digital phantom of yourself, enslaving that phantom to work for no wages, selling the knowledge that you worked for years to acquire. They never have to pay you, or give you a lunchroom with a microwave to warm up your meals, or deal with your requests for holiday leave. From your data, they have resurrected an obedient robot phantom version of you with little to no cost to them and no kickbacks to you. It doesn't matter that you had to pay tens of thousands of dollars for an education in order to create that value for society. They took it for free when they made your phantom. It's what they always wanted from you. They would prefer for you to be an app than a human. But you see, extracting your knowledge and labor directly from you would raise too many alarms. So it was just a matter of creating a middle step that was sufficiently abstract where people couldn't quite understand it. Data laundering. AI is not as much of a black box as they want you to think. They just want to keep it a black box. Firstly, to maintain an edge over their competitors, and secondly, to avoid liability, so that when you argue that they have stolen your data, they just point to the box and they say, well, we don't know what's going on inside that box. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. So here's what the diagram looks like. Your creative labor gets fed into the AI without your permission, and then they charge subscription for that AI. That's the data laundering. It's not even that complex. And you might be saying, yeah, well, the mystical AI does some really creative stuff with that data set. Really? If it's so creative, then why do they need proprietary images in the dataset? Why did they take that legal risk of stealing proprietary data for it? That's a huge risk for a company to take. It's so deceitful. Part 2. Ideology and utility. Companies like OpenAI are trying to convince you that creativity is a chore. They started with people's dream jobs. They decided not to go for the jobs that people hated, the tedious jobs that actually people would rather be rid of, the dangerous jobs, the boring jobs. They missed those all out. They went straight for creative jobs, not because they were following some kind of ideology, but because they found an exploit. They found a way to exploit people's data, and from there they worked backwards to a product, and then they decided to market the product to you despite the fact that it's not what you asked for, it's not what you wanted, and it's not what you need. Have you noticed that everyone wants to make things with AI, but no one wants to be informed by AI? Nobody wants to receive AI. Have you received an email written by AI? It sucks. It's not personal, it's not human, and it's just an insult. As soon as you catch on that it was written by AI, you immediately change your opinion about the email. You start to think that the person who wrote it to you just doesn't care about you. The same thing with images. If you find out that a photograph was actually made by AI, you feel like you've just been lied to. And you have, right? And that doesn't feel good. And also it's just messing up your sense of the world. It's causing you to believe in things that don't exist. And no one wants that. People want to be informed by reality, by real photographs, by real images. Why should I read a message you spent no time writing? Why should I look at a picture you put no thought into? What's it worth? Nothing. No, wait, it's worse than nothing. It's actively blocking my view of something genuinely beautiful and meaningful. No one wants to receive AI. And the ones peddling AI features and widgets are fully aware of this. If Sam Altman started receiving email replies from his secretary, and the secretary had clearly just used ChatGPT and pasted a reply email to Sam, do you think she wouldn't be fired that very same day? If Tim Cook looked over the new blueprints for the next iPhone design, and the blueprint had been made with AI, and the wallpapers in the backgrounds of the new iPhone had been made with AI, and the proposal email had been prompted with AI, would he like that? Would he roll those designs out for Apple and put his money where his mouth is and bet the stock price of Apple on that? They don't actually have confidence in the products that they are selling to regular people. They know that they're peddling crap and they don't care. The problems only start with the fact that AI is based upon stolen data sets. It's a near infinite output of images of slop, and that slop is diluting down our online spaces and our offline spaces, which makes it harder and harder to find information and artwork that was actually made by real people. We don't know who to trust. It's diluting and corroding our online communities and our online spaces. And that alone is a problem. That means that even if these AI models were using datasets of royalty-free public domain images, I would still have a problem with the use of AI. Part 3. Can it actually do that? I think what this has taught us is that a healthy dose of skepticism is good when we're making our minds up about these new technologies. See, I love what Steven Zapata has been railing against in his videos on AI. However, he is one of many artists who indulge the AI bros a little too much in their speculations on techno-futurism. Why are we explaining how an AI that pumps out Disney-level Hollywood movies would be bad when there is no such AI that is able to create Disney-level Hollywood movies? We are indulging the narrative of these AI zealots way too much. Speculation is what's giving them power. It pumps their stock price, increases their market cap, encourages investors and government contracts and subsidies. What if AI images really are the future? They're not. What if AI does successfully replace all of us and all of our work? It won't. Look, it's not that deep. What AI does is not intelligent. It's not thinking. It's not being creative. It's working with the sum total of digitized human data, and it still looks like shit. Take the beer goggles off and see it for what it actually is. It's not as advanced as it seems, and it's not a technology that's going to infinitely improve on itself. It is literally an averaging machine. It finds the average between lots and lots of data points. It's advanced interpolation. So what it's good at is creating things that are generic. And that means that as it's being relied upon, it's pulling everything towards the middle, towards becoming more generic and less original. It's contorting these amazing human-made creations to fit prompts. If you mistakenly credit the AI for creating these images from scratch, then I suppose you would be impressed. The thing that you're marveling at is the sum total of human knowledge on the internet. And yes, that's pretty neat, but it was always there. It's just that no one had the audacity to steal it all. The sum total of human knowledge on the internet belongs to the people who made it, at least for 70 years after they created each piece. To claim it for yourself is to commit a theft, because those artists, writers, and photographers invested real money when they educated themselves at universities, when they spent hours on research, and they did this under the premise that the artwork they produced would be theirs. Part 4. Should you get in on the AI trend? If you can't beat them, join them, right? You can use AI. I can't stop you from paying these companies. I can't stop you from generating slop. You can do it. The only thing it will cost you is your principles. And for many people, that is a cheap price. Everyone by this point should be aware of the harm AI is doing to the environment, to creative professionals, to online spaces, to people's trust. It's really chilling. What this craze revealed to us, particularly in the art community, is that a massive chunk of the population would happily exploit you if given the chance. For the small reward of a little bit of money, a little bit of convenience, and the feeling of wielding creative power that they didn't earn. Look, I understand. This is heavy. And you might be asking by this point, is it all just despair? What should we do? There is a light at the end of the tunnel. I can see it. I can see it clearly right now. It hasn't even been that long and people everywhere are getting sick of AI. Hopefully what I've demonstrated in this video through my thinking is that AI models in their current state are unsustainable, meaning that they cannot last. This cannot be the foundation step that we build our futures in. It can't. This has to be a temporary phase that we look back on in embarrassment. With most seismic events that shake the industry, they have typically shaken off the people on the lower rungs, the people who are less experienced and the people who have contributed less. The alarming and unnerving thing about the AI trend is that it is targeting studios like Studio Ghibli that have contributed the most, that have offered the world the most. And I'm not trying to trivialize it by calling it an earth tremor. This is like a Krakatoa seismic event. It is not the only time 2D animation and art has faced an existential threat. That's not to say it's the same as the invention of photography or 3D or anything like that. It's completely unique. But like those seismic events in the past, the ones who are able to shelter out the storm, they later find themselves in a marketplace with less competition. It rewards those who have a stubborn survivor mindset. So I'm making a part 2 to this video, but I don't want to leave you in darkness here. There are real ways that we're going to explore that, first of all, protect you and help you to survive while this AI hype train is running its course, and also ways that we can fight back. They mostly involve coming together as communities and helping each other. So I hope you turn on notifications so that you see that when it releases. And remember to check out our new range of shirts and hoodies. The link is in the description. Thanks, have a good day. Bye.